issues. That's a motion for that.
Motion to approve and suspend the reading.
Okay, motion by Wolf. Second by Hack. Discussion. All in favor of approving the January 16 minutes, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Any changes to the agenda? Any additions or changes? Okay.
Motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Motion by Pillar. Second by Stern. Discussion. All in favor of approving the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right, let's go down to let's go to 6A right away. We'll let these guys get moving here. 6A, we have a second reading for the approval of the MDU and Rough Rider Electric franchise ordinance. Monty has it up on the board here. Does anybody have any questions or any concerns? So this is our second and final reading, Monty.
Accept the second reading and adopt that.
Okay.
So moved.
Motion by Wolf to approve the second reading and to adopt the ordinance.
Second.
Second by Pillar. Discussion. Discussion. Roll call.
Wolf.
Aye.
Pillar. Aye. Stern.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Obenauer.
Aye. Motion passed. You guys are sure welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting or move along.
Thank you.
Let's start leave blowing your snow. 5A, local permit raffle, Hazen Lions Club. See, this is Doug Rothy.
Calendar raffle over a 6-week period.
Take a motion to approve this. Anybody going to?
So moved.
Motion by Hack. Second by Stern. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. 5B, free and reduced hall rent for hospital auxiliary. And that is by, who's asking for this?
Auxiliary, the hospital auxiliary.
Who submitted? Oh, Lil Latin.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Wolf,
Second.
second by Pillar. Discussion. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Thank you. 7A, building permit application with variance for Scott Duma. Steve?
Basically, he's adding on to the south side, would be the southwest, actually the south side of his house, and west of his garage there. He would need a 4-foot side yard variance, the setbacks over there are 10 feet. He's 6 feet off the property line. Isn't going any further towards the west or further, closer to his property line. It'll be in line with his existing house.
Assuming the backside of the addition faces like an alley.
Railroad tracks.
Alley where the railroad tracks. Okay. Make a motion, we accept the variance as presented.
Motion by Pillar,
Second.
second by Wolf. Discussion. Roll call.
Pillar. Aye. Wolf.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Stern. Aye. Obenauer.
Aye. Motion passed, thank you. 8A, I'll wait until 10A, for my, water and sewer.
We got a notice from, I guess it's Southwest Water. They're gonna raise up, the water rates by almost a dime. I'm assuming that, I guess, our cost. Looks like the residents can stay the same, unless we wanna raise it up as well, but.
At this point, I haven't done any calculations to see if we should be looking at in the near future, or we know they'll be raising again next year. I don't know if it's something for next year. The reason we'll probably have to make an adjustment here soon.
So is this the first rate increase that we've had since, so how much has it increased since we initially started that we've not increased this, the city at all, correct?
I don't think so, like ever since we've got,
No,
Southwest Water.
Yeah, we haven't changed. I want to say it's between 35 and 40 cents per pound.
So this would put it nearly 50 cents.
That's included.
That's included, okay. I guess at some point we need to visit that and start getting the payback. I don't know at what point we feel like that needs to be done, but
We have a spreadsheet so we can go through and calculate those costs and come up with rates. Make sure that we're meeting all of our goals and everything. I think just do stuff. Water plant.
yeah, it's the joys of not being able to control it at all. We're gonna have to soon, eventually, and we wait till it's $1, we wait till it's 50 cents, I don't know, but eventually we're gonna have to do it pretty soon, so.
We'll start calculating.
And when we do that, I suppose we'll let the consumers know that it's been, our rate has gone up 4 or 5 times, and theirs has not gone up at all.
Yeah, there'll be all kinds of other.
Yep.
All the salt we're saving by not having to stop in the water.
Yeah.
As an individual consumer.
Yeah. Casey, anything else?
No.
Thank you. Streets, cemetery,
We really don't have much, we had a couple days of warmer weather where we kind of started scraping Main and Third, and
Yeah, we pretty much finished up the day, we got, tried to get that high hump on the middle and get that cut down.
it's getting there. Orange truck is back in service, correct?
No, got the back end apart, brakes are shot, and, we're having trouble finding parts. We got a few guys looking online and stuff, and we may have to get a whole new rear end for it. I don't think people are gonna try to part out just the brake part of the rear end, so. Dave's got a few, people out there searching for that.
I still think we just kind of keep our feelers, if we see something out there, not push it now, but eventually, I think we need to look at a new red water state. Other than that, that's, unless Ron, you got something else that's come up, that's all I've got.
the forecast from Friday until the middle of next week is supposed to be upper 30s, low 40s.
Snow.
No,
Well,
it's supposed to be warmer.
tonight, tomorrow, what, 2 inches about, but, I think the worst road in town right now might be going from Napa to Senex, and mostly between the schools.
Right.
So if we could scrape that as much as possible, and even if we, I know it's tough with vehicles, because kids park along there from 8 to whatever, but if we can get out there before that,
Well,
That's a-
you almost have to wait for the afternoon for it to soften up, that's
Right.
the bad part, about in the morning, maybe it's still frozen.
yeah. And if maybe we have to send someone home early on Friday, and they can put a couple of hours on Saturday if they could. Just because there'll be no vehicles there, that'd be great too, but that road is terrible. And it's just the nature of the beast, but, there should, definitely no speeding on that road right now.
That or coming,
Since we don't have the signs up here.
Yeah, yeah,
coming 2-3 hours late, schools, well, depending on if there's practice,
yeah,
you make that call already.
yeah.
Well, even with the vehicles parked there, that's a wide enough street where we could work the center and then probably work the sides where people parked
Right.
later on.
Anything else for Jason or Ronnie? Okay. Finance, busing,
No, nothing.
police, fire,
Well, our city forester, Mr. Dull, went off to tree school early last week. I visited with him over the weekend, and he said he took away quite a bit from that little adventure, and he's looking forward to really getting into the meat of the job
Good.
coming into the summer and stuff, so that was very beneficial. I also visited with Stan Burling this weekend, and they are preparing for 8 of their firefighters to go off to fire school, so that'll be coming out shortly. And he's been taking an inventory on their equipment that they have at the fire hall, and they've been spending some time looking for some replacement radios and also replacing some equipment that has failed on there, all of which was budgeted for.
Dan, would you visit with Officer Dahl? I don't know what the ordinance says, but there's a camper parked,
Oh, yes,
you know where that's at? It's been there for a week now.
okay.
I'm pretty sure we have orders, we can't block an alleyway.
Yep.
So it's.
That's
See
what
what-
we're gonna call tonight.
Buster, HCD.
No, I really don't. have much to report on. Weather, it's kind of on a standstill. We're gonna probably get some lumber in towards the end of the month. That's the plan. So,
Okay. All right. Down to 10A, hotel construction. Buster and I were in a meeting the other day with a group of people that are organizing the push for the hotel. And as you can all remember the name of Jerry Boozman, who used to be involved as kind of the developer of this, is no longer in it. But there is another gentleman out of Chicago, and his name is Ace Lanahan, and I think you all may have met him or heard the name. But he's been in town numerous times. We met last night, and there's a core group of investors that are looking at getting this rolling, and still the same site, still the same type of a building. The Grand Stay would be the brand. It'd be a stick-built facility, not a modular type like once discussed. They are getting the financing in line. With USDA, I know they met with both Union State and Union Bank last week also. Mr. Lanahan will be back in a couple weeks. Buster, is that right? And meeting with more investors. So they asked me where the city was sitting with our land that we kind of designated out there. And I said, it's still there, and it's still empty, and we're still hoping that this project would go, because the taxes alone for convention, the visitors, and our community, not to mention the traffic for everything else, would be fantastic. And it's a need that we've definitely diagnosed. So, the question is they, talked about the city being an investor in the hotel. And, talked to Pat about this, and that's not a good idea for a municipality to become I don't know if it's not a good idea, but it's not a real commonly practiced situation. I think Dodge does it with their gas station in the city of Dodge. But I foresee down the road lots of people wanting to come to the city and say, we want you to help invest into our business too. So try to kind of be not such a great situation. So they did ask about the value of the land and if we would have, we talked about appraisal of it, and they're not asking us to do any appraising on it, anything like that. And I don't think we want to set the value for that property. But in order to make the financing work out with the bank and USDA and the investors to make this happen, obviously free land is the best land. If that's something I have to pay for, that's one less ticket they gotta add on to building this. So we talked about that, and one of the items that came up, and I'm not sure who thought of this, Buster, was it Chuck Straub? If the city deeded the land to HCD, then it can be used as their portion of the financial commitment towards this property. And then we would just be a donor and not a investor, or because if the land is worth whatever, we don't want any return or a cash call down the road in case it doesn't work out, which I don't think is going to happen. But we would just be a donor, and then we would just gain back in taxes and revenues and other ways. But I told them I'd bring that back to this group and mention this to get your feelings and input. Obviously, this is a situation we want to happen, this facility, and they are including a pool, and they are also including a community room in this. Would be somewhere to hold a reception for weddings, birthday parties. Basin Electric want to bring in 20 or 30 people to have a meeting space. They could, but it's a meeting space to hold about 200, I think, 250, I think, 250 people. They wouldn't have a full-blown kitchen where they produce food, but they'd have a small kitchen to prep stuff for the caterers, if Krause's or whoever came in. But so those are two requests that we had, and so those are being included. We don't have a picture or an image of what would go here, but we have others that are in Minnesota and Valley City. Buster, go ahead.
Just one key element on the deeding of the property. One is then we could place a value on that property, okay? Whoever that may be, maybe it's, through it being assessed, or, is that the right term?
Appraised.
Appraised, excuse me, yeah. But then the idea would be, then, that could be used as part of equity, reducing the equity. So, just a scenario, from previously, originally the idea was that you were going to sell the land for $150 to Boozman, and he did put some money down on it, and that type of thing. But under this scenario, what could happen is this, and this is just a hypothetical. Let's say, okay, so say that land still had a value of $150,000. Turn around, deed it to HCD. HCD can turn around and use that as a piece of the equity. And if hypothetically that land value would come in at $350, okay, that's $500,000 swing in terms of equity on the project. And so that's a big chunk of equity. The other thing that they had discussed, and again, another piece that they had discussed then is that they would enter into agreement with ACD where they would be non-exempt or exempt from a call in the event that it would go south.
Right.
With the other thing, that, and this would probably be negotiable, I'm guessing, but they were talking about giving ACD a return on that investment of between maybe 4 and 5%. Because the preliminary indication on the performa that was done, and this is very preliminary, but the year two, the first year there, it wouldn't cash flow too much, but they're talking, 7% with 7%, 7.5%, with it getting to the point of maybe 18% down the road. So I don't know. And, I'm not sure, what that does. I can see the attorney's wheels are turning. And
Don't be making an offer.
yeah, no. Oh, yeah.
No.
So I don't know. And to me, it's kind of one of these things that it was a little above me, to be honest with you, when I was sitting in the meeting.
So when we go back to the next meeting, if we could tell them that we'd be willing to deed this land over to HCD, that would be a huge kickstart when Mr. Lanahan and the management company and Buster sit down with people to invest, to say this is already a portion that may be set aside for this or will be set aside for this, and less that we're gonna be asking for people to come to the table with. And that would be, if I was an investor, I'd feel a lot more comfortable knowing that portion has been done and that the city is supporting it like that, and that's less that they're gonna need to build this facility. And for them to do that, for HCD to not have a cash call, to be exempt from that would be amazing. Because there's that chance that some months or years could be lean, but that'd be fabulous. So what are your thoughts? What are your concerns? I don't think we need to make a determination tonight exactly. But if I can get a feel from the group and at least talk to them about that, that'd be great. So if you want to just think about it and get a hold of me or Buster, that'd be fine too. If you want to come to our next meeting, which is
It's gonna be the 1st of March,
March 1st at 9 o'clock at the,
10:30.
oh, it's 10:30 now.
Well, there's two of them.
Okay,
Uh,
10:30 and,
10:30 would be the.
okay, 10:30 at the Auto Bank at East Tiffany. Yep, so, anyhow. JC.
I know we kinda got, there's a lot of money. That's tied up in that piece, but.
We do.
I'd be okay with giving it over as long as we don't have to pave that road or do any other like add-ons,
Right, and that's one of the things that makes that property more valuable, the work we did on that road. We built the road, that was expensive, the engineering, the water, we updated lift stations to accommodate that area. So that, I agree, definitely agree, that is definitely gonna make it much nicer. And I think Tim Williams is planning on paving that road when they do the rest of the loop. Buster.
Just one other thing too that I would bring to your attention is the fact that the group is planning to do a flex pace loan, okay, which it involves a bank in North Dakota. Now, the city can donate land in place of actual dollars, value of the land, to cover the cost of that flex pace portion. So that work that has been done out there already with the lift stations and, and the water and sewer that's there, would be eligible for that piece. See, typically what happens with the flex base loan now is that HCD will cover those expenditures, okay? The city is the only entity that is allowed to do land in lieu of cash dollars. So HCD is not in a position, we can't do that. If we had land, we couldn't do that, and the maximum allowance on a flex base is up to 130,000. That is with the Bank of North Dakota share and local share. So, that's a pretty nice little incentive as well.
And just for information, Alan Laban Schwab were invited to the last meeting about a month and a half, 2 months ago. And they're excited for this, actually. They know that there's a need. They know that they have their own of people that they will probably not lose because of price differential. And they actually, they had some other very good, nice comments and interesting comments about it too, but they were involved and approached about this stuff, which was great.
So Buster, with that type of loan setup, if the city is the only one that can use land as part of that equity or their contribution to that, I understand the benefit of deeding over to HCD, so you kind of remove the city from being a direct link to it, but
I believe what would happen, Dan, in that particular case, typically what happens with the flex-based loan now, it's made with Hazen Community Development,
okay,
and in place of us, it would be the city of Hazen.
okay.
And the way that it works is that it is 1%. I think is the actual the Bank of North Dakota will pick up 4% of the note. Locally, you pick up a quarter of 1. And typically what will happen then is they'll charge, the bank will charge 2 above that, so 7. So 5% of that is picked up between Bank of North Dakota and the local, up to a max of 136, I think it is, or something like. Don't quote me on it, but it's 130 some thousand something that you can go to.
That 136 is the total between the bank and local?
Bank of North Dakota,
Oh, okay.
Bank of North Dakota and the local.
And then, I
That's
guess,
the difference.
it's only land, as Casey brought up, the road was done,
Oh,
sewer,
it's
and then
infrastructure.
infrastructure,
Infrastructure.
so, okay.
So we will still have that.
Yeah.
available.
I would think that alone would almost make that match, I mean, because that sewer line in the road
Yeah.
were cheap.
Then take it back, Tim is not gonna pave that road when they do the rest of it yet, because they wanna wait until if there is more construction, whatever, they don't want that to be paved to just destroy that road. So, but it is. Any thoughts or, when that was brought up, I thought it was a great idea to help out with this.
I think anything that we can do to help this go forward, I think is a benefit to our community. It really is. So,
Jason?
Yeah, I'm on the same like Casey. Looking at it on the sales side, with investor, if I was an investor too, that's a pretty good chunk of money, if you will.
And I think the total, was it 6 million or 7 million, Buster, for the total project? For
Well,
construction,
Yeah, one of the
engineering,
things that
architecture, plans.
we're exploring is 2-story versus 3, because we feel like a 2-story would reduce costs by about 800,000.
But have the same amount of rooms
And have the same amount of rooms.
and amenities.
Amenities, and so that's what they're kind of, and they're like the guys that do the number crunching are running some of those numbers, but that was some of the preliminary information that we had received at this meeting, and so I think that they're going to pursue the 2-story quite heavily, just simply because of that, because of the fewer dollars. So, I'm gonna take a ballpark gander, and I'm gonna say that it's probably gonna be about a $6.5 million project because of the additional community room that we are looking to put on there. So,
But I don't want to cut short, Buster, I wanna move on here real quick, so we kick, let Casey get out of here, but. So if I'm hearing right, I'm hearing that we're pretty much in favor of this, but we're gonna have to take some, board action right down the road here, and we'll talk to Pat to see how we're supposed to go about this properly. And I know with the securities and exchange, we need to be careful how we say things or do things that from here on out. Thank you. 11A, request for duplicate warrant, Aflac, apparently got lost in the mail. Get a motion to. Motion by Pillar,
Second.
second by Wolf, discussion, roll call.
Pillar. Aye. Wolf.
Aye.
Hack.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye, motion passed. 11B, 2016 budget amendments. Okay, Monty's got that here for us. Monty, is there anything you want to point out especially?
I tried to explain what it was all about, whether it be additional collection on taxes and all those things. I did just notice though that I will have to put in an amendment for the amount that we received from the Bank North Dakota and the bond sales for the 2016 street project, because we didn't actually have anything budgeted at the first of the year, so those actual amounts that came in will be an amendment.
So this actually reduces our budget slightly.
Slightly.
Any questions for Monty on anything specific? If not, we need to approve this. And that takes a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Wolf. Second by Stern. Discussion. Roll call.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Pillar. Aye. Hack.
Aye.
Omenauer.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you. Approval of bills.
And then a whole big pile of different dates.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Wolf. Second by Stern. Discussion. Roll call.
Wolf.
Aye.
Stern.
Aye.
Pillar.